The station hung in silence, cold and gray, orbiting a dead planet that no one had visited in centuries. Lights flickered along the docking bays as a ship larger than most war cruisers approached. No one moved. Everyone knew who it carried. The Dragon Lady, Kalira Vey, had not been seen in years. She was a legend of fear, a shadow in the stories told to scare young pilots into obedience. Yet here she was, stepping down onto the station alone, with only her guards hidden in the shadows of her ship. Marcus Trent watched from the edge of the observation deck, his fingers wrapped around the metal railing. He was nothing special to anyone who didn't know him, just another human security contractor, but today he felt the weight of every eye that might be watching. His client had insisted he meet her, and the instructions had been clear: do not provoke. Do not fail. Protect the children. Marcus had no idea what kind of chaos he was walking into, but he knew one thing. Kalira Vey was not a dragon you could ignore. The airlock hissed open. Kalira stepped out, her wings folded behind her in an elegant sweep of black and gold. Every movement was deliberate, careful, almost regal. Her eyes, sharp and golden, scanned the station as if reading its thoughts. Every guard, every crew member held their breath. The stories were true. Kalira was beautiful, terrifying, and completely untouchable. Marcus felt his heart beat faster. He stepped forward. "I don't know if you want security," he said, keeping his voice calm. "But I can give it. I can protect you." She turned slowly, her eyes narrowing. A low, almost purring laugh came from her throat. "And why would a human care to protect me?" Marcus swallowed. He had expected suspicion, maybe even a threat, but not this calm curiosity. He forced his lips into a small smile. "Because I need someone to care for my hybrid kids. And you might need security." Kalira's head tilted. Silence filled the air. Around them, humans and a few Draconic staff watched, unsure if this was a declaration of war or madness. Kalira studied him for a long moment, as if weighing the words for their true meaning. Marcus felt sweat trickle down his back even though the air was cold. "Hybrid children," she said finally, voice smooth and low. "The ones the galaxy wants dead?" "Yes," Marcus said. His voice was firm now. There was no shame, no hesitation. "They're not weapons. They're not experiments. They're children. And if someone doesn't care for them, no one will survive what's coming." For a long moment, Kalira said nothing. The station was still. Even the hum of the machinery seemed to pause. Then she smiled, the kind of smile that could slice stone. "Humans always surprise me," she said. "Most of you would run or hide or hand over the children to save yourselves. And yet here you are, standing like a wall in front of something no one else wants to see." Marcus didn't flinch. He had to stay calm. "I stand for them because no one else will. I don't care about politics or empires or the fear of dragons. I care about what is right." Her wings shifted behind her, stretching slightly, making her even taller, more imposing. "And you think your small human body can protect me? Against the people who hunt me for centuries?" "I don't care if I fail," Marcus said quietly. "I care if I don't try. I care if I leave children to die because everyone else is too afraid." Kalira's laugh was soft, almost musical this time. She leaned closer, studying him. "You are bold, human. Too bold. But maybe bold is what is needed." He took a step back, giving her space. The tension in the room was like a living thing. Every staff member, every crewmate, every hidden observer waited. No one spoke. No one moved. Marcus felt the weight of centuries of fear settle into the room, but he didn't look away. "You are not like the others," she said finally. "And yet you are alone. Alone with children that should not exist. Alone, and yet, you dare to face me." Marcus nodded. "Because they need someone. And you need someone too. I don't pretend to know your life or your battles, but if you let me, I can help. Not because of fear. Not because of duty. But because it's right." Kalira studied him for a long moment. She could see the truth in his eyes. Humans were unpredictable. Often foolish. Often weak. But sometimes they were stronger than dragons, stronger than empires, stronger than fear itself. Marcus Trent was one of those humans. She knew it the moment he spoke. Finally, she nodded slowly. "Perhaps we can try," she said. The words were soft but carried authority. "Perhaps there is a place for your human courage here. But make no mistake, trust is not freely given, human. You will earn it." Marcus allowed himself a small smile. "I don't need your trust yet. I need your promise to keep them safe." For the first time, Kalira's expression softened. Not warmth exactly, but something that resembled respect. "Then we begin," she said. As the two of them turned toward the station's inner corridors, the alarms outside finally faded. The other humans looked on, confused but relieved. The dragon staff whispered among themselves, some shocked, some curious. The galaxy would not understand this alliance. No one would. Not yet. But in that moment, in that small gray station orbiting a dead planet, a human and a dragon had taken the first step toward something the galaxy had never seen before. Marcus glanced back at the observation deck, toward the small waiting rooms where the hybrid children were kept hidden. They would be safe for now. The first part of the impossible alliance had begun, and neither dragon nor human could yet know how far it would go. The station hum continued, steady and unbroken, as if the machinery itself approved of the choice. Outside, the stars blinked silently, watching. And somewhere in the dark, cold vacuum, the galaxy held its breath. Marcus led Kalira through narrow corridors that smelled of oil and metal. The station was old, built long before most empires had fleets, but it was sturdy. Hidden behind reinforced walls were the hybrid children, the ones the galaxy wanted erased. Marcus had seen them before. Some had scales, some had faint wings, and some had eyes that glowed like stars. All were children. All were terrified. Kalira stopped at the entrance to a small room. The door slid open, revealing a cluster of children huddled together. Their eyes widened as they saw her. Some instinctively shrank back, but Marcus stepped forward quickly. "They're safe," he said. "No one is here to hurt you." The oldest child, a girl named Lyra, stepped forward. Her wings were small, like a dragon's attempt at flight that had never succeeded. "Who is she?" Lyra asked, her voice trembling. "This is Kalira," Marcus said carefully. "She is powerful. But she is not here to hurt you." Kalira watched silently. The children were unlike anything she had seen. They were fragile, yet there was something in their eyes, a spark that even humans rarely had. She bent slightly, letting her wings fold around her like a shadowed cloak. "I am not your enemy," she said softly. "I promise you that." Some of the children took cautious steps forward. A boy with tiny scales along his arms, named Joran, whispered, "Why do you care?" Marcus looked at the floor. "Most of the galaxy doesn't. They think children like you are dangerous. But I think you deserve a chance to live." The room fell silent. The children had heard stories of humans before, stories that painted them as cruel, weak, or greedy. Yet Marcus's eyes held something different: determination. He did not speak of politics or war. He spoke of life. And for the first time, some of the children dared to believe it. Kalira straightened. "The galaxy has laws," she said quietly, almost to herself. "Laws that demand your destruction. They think your existence is a crime." "Yes," Marcus said, his jaw tight. "They think you are experiments or weapons or mistakes. But you are children. And children should not die because of fear or law." Lyra stepped closer, examining Kalira with wide eyes. "Are you really here to protect us?" Kalira's gaze softened in a way few humans would notice. "I am," she said. "But you must understand something. Trust is not given lightly. And you will need courage." Joran shivered. "We are scared." "So am I," Marcus admitted. "But that doesn't mean we stop trying." Kalira looked around the room. The children had mixed traits. Some had sharp claws, others had faint scales or glowing eyes, and a few had small, feathered wings. The galaxy had labeled them hybrids, as if the word itself made them dangerous. Kalira had seen empires destroy less. She wondered how so many could be so blind. These children were not weapons, they were hope. A soft rumble echoed through the station. Marcus stiffened. "Someone's coming," he whispered. "They know where we are." Kalira's golden eyes narrowed. "Then we must move quickly." She swept her wings wide, and even in the cramped corridors, her presence filled the space. The children looked at her with awe, and Marcus saw fear fade a little in their eyes. "Follow me," Kalira said. "I will protect you. Human and dragon together." Marcus nodded. He had never heard anyone speak like that to children before. Even in war zones, humans had been cruel to those they deemed weak. But here, with Kalira's calm power and his own steady presence, the children felt something new: safety. The first alarms began to echo through the outer docking bays. Someone in the galaxy had learned of the children's location, and the hunt was beginning. Marcus led the children into a hidden chamber. The walls were thick, and the ventilation systems could hide any heat signature. It was far from perfect, but it was enough to buy time. Kalira looked at each child. "You are stronger than you know. The galaxy may not understand you, but you must understand yourselves. You can survive this. And you will survive this." One of the youngest, a boy named Riven, stepped forward hesitantly. Why would anyone want to hurt us? Marcus crouched down to his level. Because people are afraid of what they do not understand. Because some want power more than they want life. But that doesn't matter anymore. You are not alone. Lyra took a small step closer to Kalira. Will you really fight for us? I will, Kalira said, her voice steady. And so will he, she added, pointing at Marcus. The children clustered closer. Fear was still in their eyes, but it mingled with something else. Curiosity, wonder, and a tiny spark of hope. Marcus realized that trust would take time, but it could grow. And perhaps, together, humans and dragons could rewrite what the galaxy thought was possible. Suddenly, the sound of distant engines echoed through the metal walls. Shadows moved beyond the station's outer gates. The galaxy was coming. Marcus placed a hand on the door's control panel. They're coming for you, he said quietly. Kalira's wings flared. Let them come, she said. They will find we are not easy to destroy. These children are not weapons for war, they are children. And we will show the galaxy that life is stronger than fear. Marcus took a deep breath, looking at the small faces around him. Some were trembling, some were staring wide-eyed, but none had turned away. They were ready to follow him and Kalira into the impossible fight for survival. The hum of the station grew louder, steady, and reassuring. Outside, stars twinkled like silent witnesses. The galaxy had demanded death for these children, but in this hidden chamber, a human and a dragon had made a promise. They would survive. And for the first time, the hybrid children believed it too. The alarms blared through the station before anyone could fully understand what was happening. Marcus and Kalira moved quickly, her wings folding tight against her back as they guided the children through hidden passageways. The galaxy had sent fleets, ships larger than the station itself, moving through space like predators. Every sensor on the station screamed danger. Marcus crouched beside a control panel, tapping the old interface with practiced speed. They know where we are. They're coming for the children, he said, voice tight. Kalira's eyes glowed gold in the dim light. Let them come, she said calmly. They will find us ready. This station may be old, but it is not defenseless. The children watched silently. Fear and awe mixed in their eyes. They had never seen so many ships at once. Some pressed closer to Marcus, small hands gripping his arms. Lyra, the oldest, whispered, Are they going to hurt us? Marcus shook his head. Not if I can help it. We will fight, but we will fight smart. You do what I tell you and you stay safe. Kalira stepped forward, her wings rustling softly. The galaxy fears what they do not understand. They see you as a threat because they cannot see your hearts. That fear will not protect them, but courage will. Suddenly, the station shook as the first beam struck the outer wall. Sparks rained down and metal groaned under the pressure. The children screamed, but Marcus held up a hand. Stay calm. We have shields. Follow my voice. Kalira moved to stand at the entrance to the main chamber, wings spread wide. Her presence alone made the children feel braver. Do not run from fear, she said. It is what you do in spite of fear that matters. The human team worked fast, reinforcing doors and activating hidden defense systems. Every corridor became a maze, every sensor a trap. Marcus smiled slightly, though the tension never left his face. They think children are weak. They are wrong. You are not weapons, but you are alive, and that matters more than anything. The first boarding pod crashed into the docking bay, shaking the floor. Shadowy figures moved in, soldiers trained to kill hybrids without hesitation. Marcus fired the first warning shots, low and precise, aimed to scare rather than harm. Kalira roared, a sound like thunder through the station, and her wings knocked over the attackers, buying precious seconds. The children watched in awe as the human and dragon fought side by side. Marcus was fast, precise, never wasting a shot, while Kalira moved like a storm, wings striking, tail sweeping, claws flashing. The attackers hesitated. They had expected easy prey, but humans and dragons did not give up easily. Lyra whispered to the other children, We're safe. Maybe? She pressed closer to Marcus. I didn't think humans could fight like that. Marcus shook his head. It's not about fighting. It's about protecting. If we do that, we can win. Outside, more ships arrived. The galaxy had underestimated their resolve. Marcus knew they couldn't hold forever, but every second bought more time for the children to understand they were not alone. They began to realize that humans could be stronger than anyone expected. Not stronger in power, but stronger in will. Kalira's roar echoed again. We will not surrender. These children will live, and you will see that life cannot be destroyed by fear. The attackers regrouped, but Marcus had set traps. Explosions rocked the station, sending some pods spinning into space. Shields held, corridors remained secure, and the children stayed huddled in the reinforced chamber. Joran looked up at Kalira and Marcus. Why are you risking so much for us? Kalira's wings folded as she crouched to meet his gaze. Because fear has no right to destroy innocence. And because humans, sometimes they fight not for glory, not for power, but because it is right. Marcus nodded. Exactly. We don't have to be the strongest. We just have to care enough to keep trying. The battle continued for hours. The attackers were skilled, their weapons advanced, but they had not counted on human ingenuity and dragon power combined. Every time a corridor was breached, a trap slowed them down. Every time a pod attempted to dock, Kalira's speed and wings forced retreat. The children watched, some trembling, some wide-eyed. They began to understand what Marcus had said before. They were alive because someone believed they could be. It was not magic nor raw strength, it was courage, strategy, and care. Finally, the attackers retreated, realizing the station was too difficult to take. The children cheered softly, but Marcus and Kalira did not relax completely. The galaxy would return sooner or later. But for now, the children had survived the impossible. Kalira lowered her wings and looked at Marcus. You humans are stubborn, she said, almost amused. But I see now why some of you can change the galaxy. Marcus smiled briefly. It's not about change. It's about protecting what matters. Today it was them. Tomorrow, who knows? The children gathered around, still shaking but smiling. Lyra whispered, "Thank you, for not giving up on us." Marcus looked at each of them. "We won't stop. No matter what comes next, we fight together." Kalira nodded, watching the stars through the station's viewport. "The galaxy may not understand us yet," she said softly, "but it will learn. And it will remember this day." Outside, the stars shone silently, watching as humans, dragons, and children proved something the galaxy had long forgotten. Life protected by courage is stronger than any empire's fear. For the first time, the hybrid children felt it in their hearts. They were not alone, and they were not doomed. The station was quiet for only a moment. Outside, the galaxy's fleets had regrouped, and this time they were larger, stronger, and more determined. Marcus knew that the next attack would not be simple. Kalira spread her wings and walked beside him as they moved the children deeper into the reinforced halls. Every step was careful, every breath measured. The children clung to them, trusting them more than they had ever trusted anyone. "This is going to be harder," Marcus said quietly. "They've learned from the last attack. They won't underestimate us again." Kalira's eyes glimmered gold. "Then we will have to be smarter, faster, and ready to make choices no one expects." The first alarm sounded, louder and more urgent than before. Marcus led the children into a large chamber that had once been used for machinery. The room had thick walls, reinforced doors, and a network of vents and passages he had spent weeks studying. It would hold, if they used it right. Outside, ships formed a blockade around the station. Light beams cut through space, scanning for heat, movement, and life. The galaxy wanted these children gone, and now they would do whatever it took to destroy them. Marcus crouched beside Lyra. "You need to listen to me. No matter what happens, stay calm and follow every instruction. I promise we will protect you." Kalira's wings stretched, brushing the ceiling. "And if anyone comes for them, they will meet me first." The doors shook as the first attack pod breached the outer shield. Metal twisted, alarms screamed, and the lights flickered. The children pressed close to Marcus, trembling. He held them steady, his calm voice cutting through the chaos. "Trust me. We can do this. Together." Kalira roared, a sound that shook the walls and rattled the attackers' shields. She moved through the corridors with the speed of a storm, wings flaring, tail sweeping, claws striking. Marcus followed, setting traps, firing precise shots, and guiding the children along safe paths. Suddenly, one of the children, a small boy named Riven, stepped forward. He had no wings, no scales, only eyes that shone like the stars outside. I want to help," he whispered. Marcus looked at him. "You don't have to. Your job is to stay safe." Riven shook his head. "No. I want to do something. I can't just hide." Kalira studied the boy. "You have courage," she said softly. "But you must choose carefully. This is not about bravery, it is about survival." Riven nodded. "I can do it. Please." Marcus hesitated, then saw the determination in the boy's eyes. He knew what he had to do. "All right," he said. "I'll guide you. But one mistake could be dangerous. Are you ready?" Riven took a deep breath. "Yes." Marcus led him to a control panel that connected to the station's external defenses. Riven's small hands moved awkwardly but with focus. Beams, shields, and traps activated as he followed Marcus's instructions. Kalira covered him, striking any attacker that came near. Together, human, dragon, and child became a team no one could have predicted. The attackers did not know what to expect. Every pod they launched was met with careful strategy, every ship that tried to dock was forced to retreat. And then, a sudden flash of light. One of the larger assault ships moved too close, and its energy beam threatened to pierce the station's hull. Marcus realized what he had to do. Riven now. Fire the vent trap. Riven's small fingers hit the control, and a burst of energy shot through the vent shafts. The ship's systems overloaded, forcing it away from the station. The children cheered quietly, but the danger was far from over. Kalira landed beside Marcus, wings folding back with a soft thud. "You are stronger than I expected," she said. "Even the smallest can change the course of battle." Marcus nodded. "It's not strength. It's choices. Courage, care, and knowing what matters." Outside, the fleet began to retreat. The galaxy had underestimated humans before, and again they learned the cost of that mistake. Kalira roared in victory, but it was tempered with thoughtfulness. This battle was won, but the war was far from over. Lyra looked at Marcus. You really risked everything for us." Marcus shook his head. "Not for me. For you. And for all children like you. Someone has to care when no one else will." Kalira lowered her gaze to the children. "And now you understand something. Life is not about power. It is about choice. You choose who you trust, who you follow, and what you protect. That is what makes you strong." The children nodded, feeling something new stir in their hearts. Hope. They had seen humans and dragons fight side by side, not for conquest but for life. They had seen courage and care in action. And for the first time they believed the galaxy could be different. Marcus placed a hand on Riven's shoulder. "You made a choice today. And it mattered. Never forget that, no matter what comes next." The station was quiet again, except for the soft hum of machinery and the breathing of children finally safe for a moment. Kalira stretched her wings, her golden eyes watching the stars outside. "The galaxy may not understand humans yet," she said softly, "but it will. And when it does, it will remember today." Marcus looked at the children, at the dragon, and at the stars beyond. He knew the battles would come again. But today courage had triumphed. Choice had triumphed. And the galaxy had seen something it rarely witnessed. Humans, dragons, and children standing together, refusing to bow to fear. For the first time, the hybrid children understood fully. They were alive because of care, courage, and the choices of those who dared to fight for them. And they would never forget it. The station was quiet at last, though the damage from the attacks lingered in the twisted metal and scorched walls. Marcus walked slowly through the corridors, helping the children along, while Kalira followed behind, her wings brushing the ceiling. The battle was over, but the galaxy had not yet forgotten. Somewhere out there, fleets were still whispering of the humans and dragons who had defied expectation. The children moved cautiously, their small hands holding Marcus's and each other's. They had survived the impossible, and now they were learning something new. The galaxy could not always be trusted to protect them, but humans could. And dragons if they chose to. Lyra, the oldest, stopped near a viewport, staring at the stars. "Will they come back?" she asked quietly. Her voice carried the weight of fear and wonder. Marcus knelt beside her. "Maybe," he said softly. "The galaxy always tests what it doesn't understand. But if they do, we will be ready. We've learned that courage matters more than fear, and care matters more than power." Kalira approached, wings folding neatly behind her. "They will remember you," she said, her golden eyes thoughtful. "Not because you are dangerous or because you are strong, but because you are alive. And that life has been defended by humans who did not give up." The children looked up at her wide-eyed. They had seen humans fight with courage, stand with honor, and care when no one else would. It was something they had never understood before. Humans were not just creatures of survival, they were creatures of choice, kindness, and stubborn hope. Marcus guided the children to a quiet chamber that had once been used for storage. Now it was filled with blankets, food, and small toys that the humans had brought in secret. The children began to explore, laughing quietly as they realized they were safe for the first time in their lives. Riven looked up at Marcus. "Do humans always care like you do?" Marcus smiled, tired but gentle. "Not always. Many humans are afraid, many humans are selfish. But some of us, we choose differently. We choose to protect, to care, and to fight for what is right. That is the part of humanity the galaxy rarely sees." Kalira nodded. And it is that choice that changes everything. The galaxy will remember this day. It will learn that fear does not always win. That life cannot be destroyed when it is defended by courage and care. Outside, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter. The fleets that had come to destroy the children had retreated, perhaps shaken by what they had witnessed. The galaxy was vast and fear was everywhere, but somewhere humans had made a mark that would not be forgotten. The children gathered around Marcus and Kalira. They were no longer just scared or hidden. They were alive, strong in ways they had not understood before. Lyra touched Kalira's wing lightly, feeling its warmth. "Thank you," she whispered. Kalira's expression softened. "Do not thank me," she said. "You survived because someone believed in you and because humans like him refused to give up." She looked at Marcus, her eyes filled with respect. "And perhaps, because humans sometimes teach dragons what it means to care." Marcus smiled at her, a little weary but full of quiet pride. "We all learned today. The children learned courage and we learned hope. And maybe, the galaxy learned something too." In the days that followed, the station became a small sanctuary. Children explored, humans repaired the damage, and Kalira watched, proud but alert. The galaxy might return, but for now they were safe. And that was enough. The children learned to fly in secret chambers, small wings stretching and flapping with guidance. They learned to use their strength but never to harm. Marcus taught them strategy and patience, while Kalira taught them power and control. Together they became something new. Hybrids who were alive, who were cared for, and who would grow to teach the galaxy a different kind of strength. News eventually spread, not through official channels, but through whispers among traders, pilots, and hidden observers. They spoke of humans who stood with dragons to protect what the galaxy wanted destroyed. They spoke of courage and care that outshone empires and fear. And slowly the story reached the ears of those who once thought humans weak, unimportant, or careless. The galaxy began to change, not because of laws or weapons or fear, but because one human had chosen to care and one dragon had chosen to believe. The hybrid children were proof, living symbols of what humanity could do when it refused to turn away from life that mattered. Marcus walked along the observation deck one evening, looking out at the stars. Kalira landed beside him, her golden eyes reflecting constellations. "Do you think they will ever understand us?" he asked softly. "They will," Kalira said. "Not all at once and not everyone. But some will. And those who see it will remember. Humanity is not just about survival. It is about courage, care, and the choices that define us. The stars will remember that because we made them see it." The children played quietly in the background, their laughter a soft echo through the station. They were alive, not because of power, not because of politics, but because someone had chosen to fight for them. That was humanity's greatest gift, the ability to care when no one else would. And the stars, silent witnesses of countless battles and empires, watched over them, holding the story of humans who had refused to bow to fear. A story of courage, care, and life itself. A story the galaxy would never forget.